Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Omar, and I am back with another video for this morning. Right now it is about 11:40 a.m., so I'm just now getting my day started. I just gotta I know I gotta finish up with some laundry, fold up some clothes, make some breakfast, because I'll be getting ready to get out of here in just a little bit. But I will definitely want to make this video. It's actually a couple videos that I want to go ahead and make and upload. Just off the strength of things kind of been on my heart lately, and that's what kind of encourages me and motivates me to make these videos. So today, the video, what I want to discuss is I just kind of want to do a follow up on my previous video, which is the four generations. I think I uploaded that maybe about a month ago, a little over a month ago or so. And so this video, I think it is going to be titled something along the lines of the four generation conversation continues. Now, what made me want to do this follow up video is that I came across. I was just having to be scrolling on YouTube, and I came across a video on YouTube, and it was an interview from you guys are familiar with the late rapper DMX. So it was an interview that a couple guys had with his ex-wife, Tashera Simmons. And I think the interview was maybe for about like a hour, maybe an hour and 20 some minute long interview. But the first, I want to say maybe 21 minutes of that interview was very eye opening because it touches on a lot of the things, and the principles that I try to explain to you guys and try to explain to people when it comes down to generational curses. And so, just to sum up, because I'll definitely put a link in the description of that interview, so that way that you guys can check it out for yourselves. But in the first 21 minutes, she's talking about her childhood, her upbringing, how she grew up. She was the oldest, I want to say, of maybe like seven brothers or sisters, and she grew up for the first main part of her childhood in a two-parent household. Mother and father was there in New York, and she discussed some of the things that transpired as far as the father being verbally abusive towards the mother, and maybe would cheat on her, things like that. And it got to one point where her mom actually had abandoned her and her family, and had literally had moved in with I guess her aunt and uncle, the mom's aunt and uncle, and end up having an affair and end up kicking out the mom, which will be to Shira's grandmother, out the house. And so in that first 21 minutes, she was discussing how with her mom abandoning the family like that, how it for one thing, it was shocking, it was a crushing blow because she just up and left. And then after the dust was settled, that it affected her self-esteem, and how her dad was verbally abusive and things like that. And she one of the things that she mentioned, in one of the podcasters, the people in the interview mentioned, is that this is a prime example of generational curses. She said that when she got to the point where she did her research on her family and some of the incidents and things that happened within her family, she came to realize that this was a generational curse, because the exact same thing happened in the previous generation. How you have the mother, the father, they just up and leave and abandon the family, and they just left their children to kind of just fend for themselves, and how that has a damaging impact on somebody's mental state. And so that's kind of what I want to touch on today, is that whole idea of doing your research. And it may not even be like an in-depth type of research, but having conversations with older family members who can maybe inform you and enlighten you on some of the events or some of the traumas that took place down that family tree, so that way that you can be more aware. Think about this for a minute. I want y'all to stay with me. For those of you that stay on top of going to the doctor regularly to get your physicals, to get your blood work, to make sure that everything is running properly. And not only that, but if you happen to have some type of illness or disease or anything like that, you have a much better odds of surviving and having a better quality of life if you catch things early, if you catch things sooner rather than later. So for those of you that go to the doctor regularly, every year, every 2 years, get your checkups, think about it. What is the first thing that the doctors will ask you? Usually the first thing the doctor will ask you is, do you have any illnesses or diseases that run in your family? Now think about it. Why would the doctor ask you that question? No matter what you come, no matter what kind of checkup that you came to the doctor for, why do you think the doctor would ask you that question? Because he knows that those diseases, whether it be heart disease, whether it be high blood pressure, diabetes, certain cancers, whether or not you or anybody in your family has a history of smoking or drinking, things like that, the doctor knows that you're much more susceptible to those same illnesses or diseases, just based off of that being in your family tree, that being part of your family history. So now think about it from this standpoint. Those generational curses that we talk about, having kids out of wedlock, drug and alcohol abuse, having a history of failed marriages, all those things, molestation going on within the family, sexual abuse going on within the family. Don't you know that those things happen in your family, that you're more susceptible to those same things happening to you, or that you actually repeating those same mistakes? So that's why it's very, very important that you will start having these conversations. I'm sure some parents do this, but not all parents, especially those parents that know that mental illness, certain behavioral traits, certain really, really destructive vices run in the family. I know some parents do talk to their kids about that, and then you have those parents that don't. Don't you know that the things that your kids are struggling with, you as a parent struggle with those same things? Those same things, those same issues that your kid is having. Don't you know that you as a parent struggle with a lot of those same things? So why not open up the conversation? See, I think some parents do their kids a major, major disservice because they like to put on this facade as though, oh, I've always been mature. I've always been smart. I'll always make the best decisions. I'm your parent. I know what's right for you. But you don't want to be open and honest about the things that you've struggled with, as well as some of that dysfunctional tendencies and behaviors that run in the family. So by you not disclosing that information, do you think that you're equipping your kids on how to handle certain challenges and certain things that you know is going to come down the line? It's not like they're just going to just get past the scot-free. They're going to have some of them same challenges and maybe struggle with them same issues. And by you not sharing what you going through, the things that you struggle with, and some of that dysfunctional things that has occurred in the family, you're ill equipping your kids and you're actually setting them up for failure. Look, I'm so glad. I'm so thankful, so glad. I have a aunt, and me and my aunt, we connect. I'm able to connect with her in a way that I can't connect with anybody in the family, and a lot of that has to do that we're more spiritually aligned as far as wanting to um, live our life with more purpose, live our life with more, be more intentional, actually serve God, and continue to be faithful throughout our lives. Now, yes, my aunt has came a long way. You know, she's admitted that she made mistakes in her life. That's a lot of the reasons why she's at the point where she's at as far as she wants to kind of surrender and just give her life to Christ. But one of the things that I appreciate with my aunt is that we're able to have conversations about dysfunctions, about those generational curses that come into the family. And those conversations are so necessary because let's just be honest here. Let's just keep it a buck. It don't matter white, Hispanic, Asian, Hawaiian, especially in black families. We know that dysfunction is all throughout our family tree. And we wonder why certain things happen to a number of our family members. They tend to get caught up in the same type of vices. They tend to make the same type of mistakes as their parents made, as their grandparents made, some of the uncles and aunts made. And we wonder, like, wow, why does this keep happening? I guarantee you, if you go and speak to a family member, they'll let you know, like, this is not the first time that has occurred. This is not the first time that has happened. And one thing my aunt had shed a light on was that there was some dysfunction and some pretty shocking things that took place between her mother, which will be my grandmother on my mom's side, because my aunt is my aunt is my mom's oldest sister. So it'd be my grandmother's siblings, and my grandmother's parents. She disclosed that there were some unfortunate and, to be quite honest, some shocking things that occurred in that time period that probably set off some generational curses coming down the line. Especially when it comes down to anger management, when it comes down to mental illness, and just how we handle certain things. And I'm so glad that she was able to share those things with me because it ought to let you know what to look out for. For one thing, you're more educated, you're more aware of the things that's going on in your family. And number two, you can begin to become more equipped so that you don't have to make the same bad choices or the same mistakes that your parents, your grandparents made, your great grandparents made, so on and so forth. So that'll be my challenge to the parents, is to be able to have that type of relationship with your kids. I understand some parents really don't have that kind of relationship with their kids, so it's something that you can't take for granted. But be able to open it up. Your son and daughter is maybe 14, 15 years old and is already sexually active. Chances are you as a parent was the exact same way. That's why you're able to identify with that behavior, what's going on. So why not have that conversation? Hey, you know what? I was sexually active at a young age. No matter what it is, drug and alcohol abuse. Hey, you know what? I tried this. I experimented at this age. Or I was around an environment where a lot of that was going on. Because what you're doing is that you're just by letting them know what's out there and what could potentially happen, you're equipping your kids more on how to make better choices going forward so they don't have to make the same mistakes with you. So that's one of the things that I encourage parents to do is to be more intentional and have those type of conversations, because you just never know. By having that conversation with your son and daughter, they may be the one that's going to break that family cycle, that generational curse. They're going to their lives are going to be much more easier to manage. It's funny because it's real funny because parents tend to, when their son or daughter has some type of extraordinary skill, some type of exceptional ability, they're real smart in the classroom. The parents usually or be the main ones to stick out their chest and think that it's all about them. Oh, yeah. My son and my daughter is real smart. Yeah, I taught him everything he knows. He get that from me. Oh, my son and daughter is real athletic. Yeah, they're athletic just like their father. They're real smart like their mom. You know, my son and my daughter's tall. You tall people running my family. Do you notice how quick the parents are willing to take credit for those good traits, those good characteristics in their children? Now, on the same token, what happens if your child is in and out of jail? What happens if your child has some type of mental illness? What happens if your child tends to make the same mistakes that you've made that you made when you was around their age, that people in their family made? Are you willing to admit, you know what, that came from me? That came from my side of the family. Our family members have a long history of having that same problem. You notice how they're much less inclined to take credit for those bad characteristics and those bad vices. You can't have it both ways, that you want to just accept the good from your kids but don't want to accept the bad. Take responsibility for those bad things. They didn't just come out of nowhere. So that's the video. So that's what I want to share with you guys. I was really intrigued by that interview that Tashera Simmons had did, um, sharing and discussing some of those childhood traumas, some of those generational curses, and how that it not only affected her, but it affected her kids too. So that's what I want to discuss with you today. I will put the link of that interview that Tashera Simmons made, and as well as I'm gonna go ahead and put in a link my old video that I did on generational curses. Come to find out, I did that video 7 years ago. I know I've been making YouTube videos for a long time. I did that 7 years ago, so I'll put that into the description as well. And I want to get you guys' comments and feedback on what you think about as far as those generational curses and things like that going forward. Feel free to subscribe as well. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.